What is up, guys? We are back, and I feel like it's right that we should be saying Happy New Year. It feels like such a long time ago that it happened, given that as of recording, it's the 30th of January, but it's been such a long time. I think it's only fair that we say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we hope you guys are all doing well. Thank you so much for bearing with us during our hiatus. It ended up being, I think, maybe 6 weeks, maybe more, that we had a little bit of a break. And just jumping straight into things, like, I guess, Adam, we haven't really spoken much over this time. We've both had heaps on over Christmas, man. So how are you, first and foremost?
Yeah, loads to catch up on, mate. Firstly, great to speak to you. Happy New Year. If we're still allowed to say that, I don't think we are. But
No, I think we
mate,
absolutely are.
just first things first, a massive congratulations to you and your partner Nicole on the birth of your second baby.
Thank you. Yes, that was obviously part of the reason for the extended hiatus, and now there are four of us. And you know what's funny, Adam? I was thinking about this like probably lunchtime today, because it was a month ago today my little one was born, and literally, if we turn back the clocks 4 weeks, my missus, she's in the other room, she could probably hear me, was literally in the birthing suite about half an hour from giving birth. So it's been a bit of a roller coaster Christmas, but we are now very settled into our new routine. Obviously, for any parents out there, it's got its ups and downs, and yeah, you're kind of just hanging on for parts of it, and then other times it's best thing in the world. But I think we have made it through, hopefully, what is the worst part, pretty unscathed, man. And now there's four of us. But how are you and the missus? What have you guys been up
Yeah,
to?
massive congratulations. Yep, we're pretty good. It's so good to speak to you again. Obviously, we spoke a couple of times over the break.
Mhm.
But yeah, we're great. Lovely Christmas, lovely New Year. We were in Edinburgh at the end of the New Year, or just at the start of January, sorry. And then it's been a good month, busy month, pretty hectic all month.
Mhm.
But it's been great, and we're great. Thanks for asking. Yeah, really appreciate it, mate. I'm loving the buzz cut.
Thanks,
Can we
man.
just can we just draw a little bit of attention to that? Anyone that's watching, I know we don't get many people watching. Most people are listening, but for anyone that's watching, Luke's rocking a brand new dad cut.
Look at that. Look at that.
I'm gonna say low maintenance. Mate, your hair is great. Not
Hey,
many
that
people
is.
can rock. Not many people can rock a blonde buzz cut. I certainly could not. Um, but
I
yours looks absolutely magnificent, I must
I
say.
You know what? I First off, I disagree. I think you'd look fantastic with a buzz cut. I think you'd rock just about
My
any
wife,
haircut.
my wife would not agree with that.
No, look. In all fairness, Nicole was very. I did warn Nicole, so I don't know what's happened, but since becoming a second dad, or a dad for the second time, I was like, man, I think I could do with something a little bit, like you said, low maintenance. Don't have to worry about the fringe. And I saw someone just on TV with a blonde buzz, and I was like, I reckon I could pull it off. I reckon I could do it. And I went to the hairdresser today, and I was like, we've got quite a good relationship at this point. He knows me and he knows what I want. I was like, look, man, do you think we should do this? Should we do a buzz? He's like, yeah, man, do it. Worst comes to worst, it just grows back a little bit. Um, and
Yeah.
yeah, he did it. I was like, mate, this is it. I wanted this, and you've given it to me, and I appreciate you. So
Yeah,
yeah,
we're getting to that stage though, mate, where we can't be sure that it's going to grow back. That would be my fear. Once you get past 30, can you really be sure that it's going to grow back for
yeah, no,
sure?
true.
Listen, you have
I'm a bit nervous now.
your hair seems to maintain its blondness all year round.
It does, yeah.
So my hair is very different to yours. My hair is really light in the summer, not as light
Mhm.
as yours. I can see the sides of yours are like white.
It's white. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's proper blonde. In the summer, mine goes with, if I'm in the sun, mine definitely gets a lot lighter, and
Mhm.
I prefer it. And then in the
Mhm.
winter, it just goes this crap color of, I don't know whether it's blonde or fur. It's not an enjoyable color along with the pasty skin. So I belong in the summer months, where the blonde is definitely as good as it's going to get. But yours is great, must
And
say, mate.
in all fairness, like, we are definitely in the summer months here. Like, we've had some outrageous heat, and I'm vitamin D sufficient. I'll tell you that much. So who knows when it rolls around to winter, and I'm maybe not so vitamin D healthy, vitamin D rich, that it will just not work. But for now, I'm rocking it. I'm enjoying it. And yeah, luckily the missus likes it as well because I I told her I was going to get it, but then she kind of forgot. So I'm rolling up from the off the back of my haircut, and she turns around, and I could tell for a split second. She was like, "Who's this absolute thug that is like coming up to me?" She, "Oh, it's Luke. It's fine. It's good. He's all right." So I caught her off guard, but I think she likes it. I think she
What
said she
about
likes it. So
what about your eldest? Did you scare him or anything? You sometimes
nah,
dads come home with like a buzz cut and the
mate.
children are scared.
He only mentioned it when Nicole mentioned it to him. She was like, "Oh, do you like Daddy's haircut?" And he's like, "Oh, Daddy got haircut, and Casper
Yeah,
wants haircut." And I'm like, "Okay,
he's
yeah,
got enough to worry about.
just make it about you, man. Yeah, it's fine." But yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
no, it
yeah,
looks great, mate. I'm loving the
feeling
dad cut.
clean. Thank you,
Dad
man.
bod, dad bod to follow.
Oof. Mate, my dad bod is in full six pack mode. I'm jacked right now. You have no idea, man. I've been training hard, and hey, look, on the topic of training, we haven't really spoken much about
No.
training over the kind of I say winter months. Obviously, it's definitely not winter here, but let's call it the holiday period. Because last time, I mean, it's what the people are here for, most likely, as much as they want to talk about my hair. But last
Mm.
time we checked in, you were doing a fair bit of swimming. In fact, I think the last podcast we did together, we spent a long time talking about swimming and obviously how you were just kind of you were playing football when it wasn't getting cancelled. So why don't we start by having a little bit of an update, man? What happened over Christmas?
Yeah, flip me. I can't even remember now. It's. I've been doing a lot in terms of like training as usual. I love it. So it's been a bit of swimming, bit of running, bit of footballing. Um, a lot of football games have been cancelled now
Mm,
in the new year. We've only played once, I think, since we last spoke, which was 2 weeks ago.
mhm,
We won 4-2, which was good.
mhm,
But aside from that, I've been swimming, I've been running, I've been hitting the swim sessions with the club like consistently 3 to 4 times a week, and I've seen a massive improvement in my swimming, like massive.
mhm,
It's so enjoyable, and like it's great during the winter months here, where like honestly, mate, the weather has been shit the last month.
mhm.
I mean like very few days where we even see a bit of sunshine. I am craving some winter sun. Um, Grey, miserable, rainy, windy. We've had storms. We've had schools closed. Oh mate,
Jesus,
it's been pretty grim, and yeah, it's starting to get on my goat. So
I heard about the it had a bit of a cold snap, didn't you? Around Christmas. I mean, at least in the UK, they did like some
the
snow and
cold snap was actually beautiful. Believe it or not,
okay.
that was the only time in the last like 6 7 weeks when the weather
Mm,
has been, yes, colder than usual, but nicer. Like there was no storm. It was sunny. All the rest. So like the Christmas week into the new year was beautiful. We had a beautiful few days of weather. We always talk about the weather, mate. We are getting old.
have to.
Um, the weather in Edinburgh was perfect. Like it was. I went out for a run and checked the forecast, and it said feels like -10. Um, but it was sun shining. It was sunshine. Sorry, I can't speak. And just that like brisk, like
Mhm,
beautiful weather. So that was great. But since then, it's been brutal. But that's where the pool. That's what I wanted to say. That's where the pool has
mhm,
come into play, and it's been really nice just to like avoid that a little bit and just be in the pool and hitting the sessions and yeah, having the crack with the other guys and girls in the club. It's been really nice and getting to know all those people and having an extra like social group and you know it's been great. So yeah, I'm just out of there this morning. I rushed straight home from the pool this morning. There's still water in my ears. Um, my hair's still wet under my cap here, but the swimming has been great. And then I guess on the days when I feel like running, I've been running.
mhm,
Um, I've just been doing what I feel like doing. So usually it's like somewhere between 8 and 12 miles.
mhm,
Um, and I've been actually running quite well on those days when I've chose to run. Like my body feels good. Um, I feel like my turnover is quite nice at the minute, if that makes
mhm,
sense. I'm running regardless of speed. I'm running with quite fast feet
mhm,
and like just my legs feel good under me. Sometimes runners will know this, that you go out for a run and it just feels kind of sluggish
Mhm.
and your legs just don't have that pop. So I felt kind of like my turnover has been nice over the last while, and that makes runs far more enjoyable, and generally faster as well. So I've been like, yeah, I've been feeling pretty good. I haven't done any real quality work, no faster stuff, but some steady running, some runs with like a faster finish, just natural progression. So I'm enjoying that, and then that's just been balancing with football and training and everything
Mhm.
else, because even though my body is now adapted to training football, um, you still pick up knocks. Like
Yep.
my back is quite sore from last night's training, picked up a knock. So, you know, you're kind of managing that. And that's where, again, swimming is great because you get into the pool, you swim for 1 hour, you don't feel it. It probably makes it feel better, if anything.
Mhm.
And then similarly, I can swim on a Sunday if I've played on a Saturday if I want. Do you know, if I want to rest, I rest.
Yep.
But it just means you're not worrying about going out and doing a long run, because running a long run after playing for 90 minutes on a Saturdays on a wet, muddy grass pitch is not ideal. So yeah, it's been great. It's been a balancing act of just doing what I feel like on the
Mhm.
days when, you know, I'm training. But yeah, hopefully we'll have some consistent games now over the next couple of months, because there's basically now a backlog of matches to be played,
Mhm.
which will mean when the spring months return, it could mean like 3 games in a week or something, which could be,
Threes.
well, it'll
So
probably be like
we're talking a
Saturday,
midweek,
Wednesday,
and then
Saturday or something,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah,
Or
okay.
Wednesday, Saturday, Saturday, Wednesday, Friday. I don't know how, but yeah,
Mhm.
that tends to be how it is here at this time of year. There's not
Mhm.
enough artificial grass pitches, and then when the games get cancelled, they just have to be played at some stage. So
Sure. And I was going to say, going back to the running, I feel like honestly, or running and swimming, that swimming is probably the best sport to be doing as part of a cross training, I guess, approach to any kind of exercise, because that's probably why you're running so well, man, isn't it? Because it's not like when you're marathon training and you're running 6 times a week and it's just like you're just getting hammered every single time that you run. Whereas as soon as you add swimming into the mix, like you said, it's almost restorative, because there's like it's zero impact, and it's not even like cycling when there is still a lot of that kind of concentric action. It's quite fatiguing. Like swimming, it's so technique based. The amount of stress on the joints and the connective tissues is so minimal. It's allowing you to actually go out and run like
yeah,
basically when you want and go, okay, I'm feeling fresh.
yeah. Yeah,
Great, great
absolutely. But
thing.
some of the workouts, with that said, and you're absolutely right with what you've just said, some of the workouts have been tough as well. Like you get out of
Mm,
the pool after an hour and you're like, I've trained today. And
mhm.
sometimes when you're in the water, you don't realize how hard you're working or how hard you're training, because you're in the water, if that makes sense. Like you're not standing with your hands on your knees, hunched over,
Yeah.
in the park. It's kind of weird. I'm sure swimmers like who swim for years and years and years, they feel differently because they're just, being in the water is very second nature. But being in the
Mhm,
water is still quite novel to me.
mhm.
So like when you get to the end of a like an interval or like a set, you kind of like go, wow, like I was working hard there. Or you go to pull yourself out of the pool and you just feel your body is tired, or the
Yeah,
hunger
yeah.
afterwards. You do work, especially in some of the hardest. This morning, for example, was quite a taxing set. It was basically like stamina based work,
Mhm.
and like the warm up alone was 1,000 meters. So like
Mm,
to be doing 1,000 meters in a warm up to me is just mental. Considering in October, if you asked me to swim 25 meters front crawl
mhm.
without stopping, I would have struggled. So
Yep,
it's crazy how good, or how much good coaching can help.
sure.
And yes, swimming being a really technical sport, like you said there, when there's a coach watching that really knows what they're doing, or coaches, there's plenty of coaches, which is so good. Like, and there's even coaches sometimes swimming in the water with you, and they're giving you
Mhm.
little pointers here and there. It really helps. Um, it just makes it, yeah, for me anyway, who loves to be coached. I love like to take instruction from a coach and improve. It just
Mhm.
makes it so much more enjoyable. So it's been a good journey, and so far, but like it's like doing a martial art. I find there's just always something to be working on. Even the
Yep.
really, really top club swimmers in the pool, you just watch them, they're always doing technique.
Mhm.
You know, they're never just swimming for quote unquote fitness. Of course, they're getting their fitness at the same time, but it's always technique.
Mhm.
Always, always, always technique. And that's where it's very unlike running. Um, where you go out and you train an energy system or you train like an element of your fitness, you rarely do much technique work unless you're doing like, you know, short, fast hills, strides, drills, that kind
Mhm.
of stuff, which a lot of people avoid. The pool and swimming well is just, I can't emphasize enough how much it's about technique. And the people that work on the technique definitely swim the best, because when you tire in swimming, your technique starts to, just like running, I guess, when you fatigue in a marathon, technique starts to dip. In swimming it's
Deteriorate.
much,
Yeah.
yeah, deteriorate, that's the word. In swimming it's much more significant, because you start to fight the water and then
Mhm.
you start to work harder against the water and you're going slower and you work harder, so it's like this double whammy, this double-edged sword, where it just becomes really tricky. Whereas when you're fresh and technique's really good, or your body position in the water is really good, or you're just like, there's days when you just feel really good in the water and days when you don't feel as good.
Mhm.
Those days when you feel good, you just feel like you're like gliding or swimming almost for free. It's a
Mhm.
great feeling. So yeah, it's been very enjoyable.
Do you ever feel like you're, because obviously running, and you put it really nicely actually, that it's almost like the other side of the coin compared to running. Like running, you're literally training an energy system. You're training your ability to kind of handle aerobic stress, or anaerobic, depending on what kind of running you're doing. Whereas, like I said, swimming is just technique. You don't really hear about swimmers. I mean, I'm not in the swimming sphere, but you don't hear them going, "Okay, yeah, I need to work on my X system or Y system." But do you feel like you've got to the point yet where you are getting some kind of an aerobic stimulus from the swimming as yet? Like,
No,
is your heart
n-
rate?
no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely no doubt about it.
Mhm.
And you mentioned heart rate there.
Mhm.
It's kind of like the bike. You'll have, if you do physiological testing in the water, you will have different zones
Mhm.
in swimming as you would to running. But I have just on that point as well, you mentioned about the technique thing. I have no doubt that top swimmers and competitive swimmers are working on energy systems in the pool.
Mhm.
I have absolutely no doubt about it. Like there's many, that is just a fact. Because I remember reading quite a while ago about, it was something to do with physiology and running, and how quite a lot of quite a lot of information had been learned from one of the top swimming coaches, from
Okay.
training the physiology and actually building fitness properly.
Mhm.
Essentially, what had happened was swimmers were just getting in the pool and training at like pretty much max intensity every day, and absolutely like destroying themselves. And then this guy came along who understood physiology and just changed the game completely.
Mhm.
Um, and it was with a lot of like threshold based stuff, just working through a spectrum of intensities as opposed to just going hard or going slow.
Mhm.
But I must say, when you watch the junior groups, like the swim clubs, because swimming tends to be a younger person's sport, not a
Mhm.
younger person's hobby, but a younger person's sport. The ones that
Yep.
take it competitively tend to be youngsters, and you see a lot of like younger people falling away from the sport at like 17, 18. And then that's where like clubs like the one I'm in come into play, the Masters Swim Club, but it's not as competitive. It's fun at the same time. But those young, I think I said this to you before, like, man, the intensity that they're training at in the pool is incredible. They're in there for 2 hours at a time, and it's
Mhm.
it's it's pretty much non-stop. Um, and obviously their technique is absolutely impeccable, but it's intense work. It really is intense
Sure.
work. And like, I thought runners trained hard. I'm telling you,
Mm.
swimming athletes, swimmers, they train harder. They
Mhm.
definitely do train harder, because they're training at an intensity every day. They're not just going out with the podcast in their ears and training at
True. Yeah, true.
zone one, zone two. They're swimming hard most days.
Mhm.
It's incredible to watch, and I'm not surprised. Then quite a lot of young people fall off the sport when
Mhm.
they get to maybe a certain age, when they're just like, there's other things and other distractions in life.
Makes a lot of sense. I think again it comes down to the fact that, like, for runners at least, you can get away. In fact, I was talking to Nicole about this, just around my training and why it's taken me, why I've taken so much more time in a week to train now that I'm basically like 90% on the bike. And it's, well, running's such an efficient way to train your body, right? Because you can't, like, for me, I was doing what, a 10K easy run in like 50 minutes, and that was all I needed to get what I needed from that session. Whereas if I want the equivalent, let's say I'm measuring it in energy, how much energy I'm burning, for instance, well, to get my heart rate up and to maintain that level on a bike, I might need 75 to 90 minutes for that equivalent, like, easy session, easy, like, low aerobic session. Um, and you got to be thinking it's probably to an extent the same for swimming, but then you add the whole thing of, okay, it's so technique based. It's not like running where most of us can do it, like, as soon as we can walk, we can run. It's second nature. It's what humans are designed to do. Whereas you have to add technique into the mix when you're swimming, and when you're a kid and you're learning it. It's like, man, you hear stories about these kids who are having to do it before school, and they're starting sessions at 6 a.m. when they're kind of like not even 10 years old yet. And like, yeah, I wouldn't want to be
That's what
doing
they're doing.
exactly.
That's literally what they're doing. So like you can
That's
imagine getting to 16, 17 years of age, just being like, yeah, I'm not doing that
I'm
anymore.
so done. Yeah,
I'm done.
yeah. Yeah,
Um,
real interesting.
but the junior athletes are training, like, many of them, not all, but many of them are training like full-time athletes. Do
Mm,
you know? Some of them are doing double days, the high volume sessions, the coaches on poolside. It's quite an intense environment.
mm,
It's quite a competitive environment. I suppose like any competitive sport really, but I would say it's more intense, the environment. Um, who am I to say? But I actually believe a slightly softer approach could work really well for
mhm,
longevity.
mhm,
Um, Not necessarily from the coaches and how they, because I don't know what every coach is like, but maybe from an intensity perspective, or I don't know, a volume based perspective, or maybe spending more time out of the pool doing other things. I don't know. Who
mhm,
knows?
mhm,
But yeah, it's just like that's just some of my thoughts from looking in from the outside. Yet, of course, I love competitive sport. I love to see youngsters competing and enjoying it.
mhm,
But yeah, it's definitely an interesting sport, really enjoyable one. Like I can imagine if I had kids, I think swimming would be a class thing to have them involved in.
mm.
Um, but yeah, it's good. But what about you, mate? How have things been? Let's talk. Let's talk training.
Yeah, definitely have some updates, man. So I mean, I did that solo episode a little bit before Christmas, where I spoke to a sports doctor who was basically my last. It was the last thing I had, the last option I had in terms of getting some kind of diagnosis or like treatment plan for my heel issues. And he was like, "Look, man, just let's try taking 6 weeks off, and we'll reassess." That 6 weeks actually ended up turning into like 8, 9 weeks, just because of how the Christmas holidays fell when I was able to go back to see him. And I did what he said. Like, there was no running for 8, 9 weeks. I did about 20% less steps than he asked, because I wasn't working, so I wasn't needing to do quite as many. And it basically improved maybe a little bit, but I was like to him, I've not noticed a massive difference, I'll be honest with you. And I I kind of hadn't had time to think about it, because obviously we were, like, Mrs. was heavily pregnant. It was Christmas. I had the bike, the indoor training to keep me busy. Um, but I was like, yeah, look, this is what's happened. It's definitely not gone away. It's far from gone. And in anything, like I says, some days I'm like, it doesn't feel like anything has changed at all. But he was like, well, I still don't know what it is, whether it's fat pad related, whether it's atrophy, whether it could still be like nerve impingement, which is like, again, there's pros and cons of both. But he was like, why don't you try and kind of just doing some running, and just try and get, because again, I'll just preface this by saying the longer you spend not running, the harder it is to then start running. So I even explained to him, I was like, look, I'm loving the bike and I'm thinking of transitioning fully over to from running to cycling. And he was like, that's fine. But if then in 6 months' time you want to get back into running, it's going to be a very long road back because you'll lose all that conditioning through your soft tissues and whatnot. And um it's just going to be that much harder. And I was like, makes sense, fine. So I've basically, for the last 2 weeks, as per his prescription, I've been doing like 3 to 4K broken up into kind of 800-meter intervals with a rest, with a walking break between them. And that, mate, firstly, might I add, that first run back, the first run I'd done in 9 weeks, it was literally 4 by 800 meters with a minute between reps. That was not fun. That did not feel good. And I was like, this is a good thing because this is what it feels like to be a normal person who's getting into running for the first time. It was horrible, man. I was just like, the impact through my joints, the I was like, I felt so heavy. And I actually think I'm probably the equal fittest I've ever been because the work I've been doing on the bike. Yeah, I'm still there going, man, this is horrible. I'm running like 5 minute 40 Ks for 800 meters. And I'm like, this is horrible. It's gotten a little bit more comfortable. Like I had a run. I haven't progressed it much. I've only done like 5 by 800. And these are rehab sessions basically. And I did one on Thursday and it did feel marginally better. Like the pace was naturally coming up to like the 5:30s, the 5:20s. And again, I will say that my heart rate's been a little bit higher than it was beforehand, but then it's been hot. Like we're talking 30s minimum for the last couple of weeks. So it wasn't that when I was last running. But yeah, I've basically done a couple of those sessions, but otherwise it's all been on the bike, man. I was doing some like huge hours while I was on annual leave over Christmas. I did the Rafa Festive 500, which was nice because I kind of set myself that target. I was like, well, the baby's due on the 1st of Jan. The Festive 500 will run from Christmas Eve to New Year's Eve. And for anyone who doesn't know,
Wow.
that's basically the challenge of doing 500 kilometers either on like Zwift or out on the road. Obviously, I don't have a road bike yet. Keep your eyes peeled, mate. But I did it on the trainer. I was basically averaging just over 60K a day for 8 days. And I wasn't pushing hard, but they were like, I wasn't slouching either. I'd say they were probably kind of high end aerobic rides because I did want to get the K's done as quick as possible. I do still have a toddler, so it was often taking me like just under or around 2 hours a day. And then obviously the baby came and I had to dial back on the training a little bit. I was still jumping on the bike like I normally would, but instead of doing sessions, I was basically just doing as much as I fancied. It might be like 45 minutes easy, it might be an hour easy, or if there was one day we happened to get slightly better sleep, I might do a couple of intervals or whatever. And then since being back at work, basically training routine is back to normal. I'm getting kind of 6 rides in a week. Couple of resistance sessions again, which dropped off over Christmas just because I wasn't going to the gym. Back on the gym training, and yeah, I think my plan now is to get a road bike, and again, that should be happening very, very, very soon. And
Have you have you pulled the trigger on a bike?
keep your eyes peeled, man. Keep your eyes peeled.
No information as of yet then?
Nothing needed. I'll kind of, yeah, just be patient is all I'll say. But
Mhm.
yeah, I've enjoyed doing a couple of VO2
Nice.
max sessions, man, because before Christmas, a lot of my training on the bike was sweet spot training. So we're talking those longer kind of high aerobic or higher end aerobic intervals, kind of like 10 to 20 minutes of a certain percentage of sweet spots. So basically just maximizing the time you have. So they're not particularly fun because they're like kind of tempo runs, but since being back into training now that we're settled into the routine, I'm like, I really want to see if I can push some of the VO2 max work. So it's get some of the shorter intervals going. And I had one this morning, just like a typical cycling workout, like 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, uh, 10 minutes of that times three. And that was hard work, but really fun. Just stuff that training for a marathon, training for a half marathon, being that kind of runner, you just don't do that VO2 max interval style training. Whereas when you're on the bike, it just makes more sense, because there will be
Yeah.
time where you need surges. There will be times where
There's also
you
much less cost, from like a musculoskeletal system point of view.
exactly. Yep.
The cost is virtually minimal. Um, that's that is some going, mate. It sounds like you're punching some big hours on the bike. How many hours a week are you doing on the indoor trainer at the minute?
I think, I mean, since being back to work, it's probably 10 to 12.
That's
Um,
serious, mate.
Yeah, because it was over Christmas. It was like 14, and I think there was, what, I peaked at 15 hours one week, which was huge. That's huge. That is not normal person level. And I was only doing it because I was on annual leave, and I knew the baby was coming. I was like, fuck it, I've got the time. Let's have some fun. But I think 10 to 12 where I can is still, it's a lot. That's huge for a normal person. I wouldn't be able to do it if I obviously didn't work at a gym and have flexible hours and have an indoor trainer. But yeah,
Yeah, that's serious. You're like, what I mean is that it's serious. We're obviously used to training like a fair bit, but what I mean is to go and sit in your garage on a trainer, and do that is, I know you've got Swift and you've got the setup and everything else, but just to be in your garage for that amount of time each week on a trainer is like, I'm not sure if I could do that.
I think, honestly, I think you could. Like, I will caveat by saying obviously I've got Zwift in front of me, but most of the time, bearing in mind, if I'm doing a session, I won't be doing anything other than maybe listening to a podcast. But this morning, for instance, doing those intervals, there was nothing. I just can't concentrate. Whereas for the most part, it's an easy zone 2 ride. So I'm there. I've got a football game in front of me. One
Yeah,
football game is 90 minutes. That's a whole ride, just like that, just
yeah,
done.
true,
Um,
true.
and like, if, let's say, I've got highlight Champions League highlights, for instance, on Thursday, I was there. I just watch couple of sets of highlights, and there you go. You've got 60 minutes done.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, true,
you'd be
true. I never thought about it
surprised.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then sitting on a bike, you can obviously actually watch something
Hmm.
as opposed to like running or even being on a cross trainer where you're like your head's oscillating up and down
Yeah.
a lot.
No way.
You can actually watch whatever you're watching. No,
Hmm.
yeah, that's yeah, good on you. But but there's a road bike in the pipeline. You're
Oh,
quite hesitant to say it
mate,
too much, but I'm gonna push you, mate. What's happening? Tell me,
push me. So, all right,
tell
all
me the
right.
crack.
So it is. Let's dial it back. A couple of weeks ago, I joined a Facebook group, a buy sell Facebook group for road bikes and gravel bikes in Melbourne. I didn't actually have the intention of buying anything. I was just like, I just want to see what's out there, and it's good to be in the group should I need anything. And it got to the point where I was basically window shopping, man. I was like, every day I was just keeping an eye on it, seeing if anything good came up.
Hmm.
And then it must have been
That's how
about,
it starts.
it's how it starts, man. It's how it starts. And at this point, I'm pretty adamant that I'm probably not going to be doing any serious running for a long time, if ever. And I don't want to catastrophize, but it's just the nature of the situation. And I was like, okay, I think it probably makes sense for me to invest in a road bike, because I want to go out and get some like outdoor rides in. And I'm there flicking through about a week and a half ago, and this a specialized it was basically, this guy had this specialized alley. That's the model. He'd basically specced it out. It wasn't a high end specialized, not like an S Works or anything, but he'd basically taken one of the, not base models, but relatively standard specialized sprint bikes, and he'd like specced it out to be a little bit faster and made for like crit racing. And I saw it, and it was just at the top. It was just over the budget I'd set myself. And I've got
It
one of my,
always is.
it always is, but hear me out. One of my,
We're
one of
we're all
my,
the same. We're all the same, mate. Us men, we're all exactly the same.
mate, we are terrible. We are terrible. But I go,
Yeah.
I send the specs, and because I don't know heaps about bike specs yet, I'm still learning. But I've got
Sent them to Nicole, did you?
yeah, she was second on my list.
What do you reckon?
No, but I've got a quite a good friend and client of mine who's into cycling, like big into it, and I sent him it. I sent him the specs and the price. I was like, look, what do you think of this? I'm tempted to make the guy an offer. Like, I to be honest, like this is hand on my heart. I wasn't going to pay the asking price. I wasn't going to do it. I thought I can't afford it. I was like, look, what do you think of this? If you reckon this is a good deal, I might just message him going, will you take X amount for it? Because that's my budget. That's all I've got. And with the idea of it being, well, if he says no, he says no. If he says yes, fantastic. I've just got a really good bike for a steal price, even though it's like top end of my limit. And he comes back to me and he's like, mate, that's that basically it's got a, if you know much about the gearing system. It's got a Di2
Oh,
12,
okay. Yep.
and that's
Electronic
probably
shifting for anyone that doesn't know.
brand new electronic shifting, to the point where the price I paid for the bike was probably the amount he paid to get
Oh,
that shifting added. And he was like, "Yeah, pictures look good. The size looks good. It's been slammed. So the steering
mhm.
wheel's basically been cut down, so that can't be adjusted. That's maybe not a good thing, because if the bike's
Yeah,
the
the
wrong,
stem.
yeah, there's no
Yeah,
stem. There's no stem. Basically, it can't
it's
be.
gonna look good though.
I'll send you a picture when we're done, and mate, it looks
You
fire.
better get that. You better get that low back stretched out
You
because
mate, you're bad, dude.
keep going, mate. I'm enjoying this.
But yeah, so I messaged the guy. I'm like, what do you think about this? And initially he was like, look, I'm happy to do the amount you've said, but we need to get it done by this weekend, which was last weekend. And I'm
Oh,
there going, fucking hell, mate, I've got kids, I've got a life, I've got plans. I'm sorry, mate, I can't do this weekend. If you're still interested in selling for this price, like, let me know, and we'll do next weekend. I'm still interested. And I don't hear back. I'm checking the listing to make sure it's not sold, because I'm like, mate, my heart would sink at this point, because I properly like this bike. And I was like, you know what, I can't do it. I've just got to message him. I'm like, this was Wednesday, I think. I was like, look, man, he's still interested. I'm happy to organize a bit of a meet. I'll come check out the bike, and if all is good, we'll do the handover. And he's like, yeah, man, not sold. Happy. So it is Friday night today. I'm going to meet him tomorrow. Have a look at the bike.
yes, mate.
Hopefully take it home with me.
Yes, mate.
Still got
I know your life has changed for the better with the birth of your second child, but
Mhm.
your life is going to get better again.
When you see me in my map kit, in my fresh Specialized, mate, you have no idea. The people
Yeah,
of Melbourne have no idea.
just imagine. For me, having a bike is like the freedom to explore, not
Mm,
just the freedom to train and do like sessions.
that's it.
It's exploration. That's why I got into running in the first place, because it was like I can just go wherever I like here within reason and
Mhm.
like explore different places, and a bike just gives you that 10 times over.
It's
Um,
and I think this is
that is class.
it's a really important point, because I was talking to my friend about power meters, and he was like, "Look, man, you don't. Why do you need one?" And I was like,
Yeah,
"You're right. I've for the
just go
time
out and
being, at
ride.
least, yeah, I've got the indoor trainer, and well, why am I buying this bike? I'm not going out to do 100 Ks worth of training. I want to do 100 Ks because I want to ride
Yeah.
100 Ks, man.
Yeah,
I want to
yeah.
go out
Just
and
go
just
ride. Yeah,
ride."
that is it. That is
So
it, mate. That's what it's all about. And most cyclists will go full circle as well. They'll get into it. They'll explore. They'll get the power meter. They'll get all the kit. They'll explore
yeah,
the data, and then eventually they realize that their brain can tell them most of the stuff that they need to know, and they end up nearly going full circle back to that, like just training, just
yeah,
riding.
raw dogging
I
it.
do know, I know cycling is quite a data heavy sport, but yeah, I think you can only last so long in that world, and
Mhm.
then your mind kind of just cracks, and you have to go back to why you actually got into the sport in the first place and what you actually love. So yeah, mate,
100%.
I'm very excited for you. I'm glad you shared that with us. I can't wait to see a photograph of said bike. I used to just love looking at bikes. You know, we are a bit sad, us men, but
We're bad. We
yeah,
are.
I
It's
used I,
come.
I'm doing a bit of window shopping at the minute for a
Hmm.
new car.
Oh, okay.
Um, not a new car, a new to me car, a
Hmm.
used car. But and we'll chat a bit about that maybe afterwards.
Yeah, yeah,
But like you, when you said you joined the Facebook group, I've been doing the same. When you said what you're looking at is at the top end of your budget, I've been doing exactly the same. We're
you
all the
always
same,
go.
mate.
Yeah.
Us men are exactly the same. Most, like, I don't want to class anyone here, men and women, and how we're like different in many ways, but most or lots of men will do that. They'll go to the top end of their budget. They'll maybe stretch their budget, whereas sensible women tend to be more on the conservative side, and they'll be like, "Yep, let's just go middle of the budget. Don't need to have any bells and whistles. It'll, and they're so sensible and
A
smart, and
bit
that's why
more
we need them."
pragmatic. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. It's yin to our yang, man.
Exactly,
Without
exactly.
them, we'd just be boys with toys. Then we'd get ourselves in all kind of financial
Yeah.
troubles.
But as you
Um,
started to talk about the bike shopping, I was just like, "Yep, that just sounds like me over the last couple of weeks."
yeah.
But I think with age as well, I've developed more patience and more like I just don't
Mhm.
need to jump in and spend money. I'm a bit smarter. I've got responsibilities. I've got a bloody mortgage to pay and all
Yeah,
the rest. So yeah, mate, I'm buzzing for you. That is very cool. And mate, the possibilities are endless when you get out on the roads.
that's true.
Um, I know the cost to maintain a bike is a little bit, but it's going to be so worth it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not all like, okay, buy a bike ready to go. Like I've got like a checklist of things I need. Like even for people listening, man, it's not like running where you just buy a pair of shoes and some shorts. It's like the guy's not even selling me pedals with a bike, so I'll need to organize pedals. Obviously you got like little things, safety gear, shoes, cleats. Okay, I need to
Yeah,
make sure the cleats, because I'm going to be getting some speed play clip-ins like the
yep.
pros, because I'm a fucking pro, man. I need this. I need the speed plays, but then you need an adapter to make sure that your clip-ins match the cleats, bro. It is a
See, we're all the
costly
same. Yep.
costly sport.
Yeah, then you're going to need
Um,
a bike computer. You're going to need wet weather gear in case it
yep,
rains. You're
yep,
going to need spare tubes. You're going to need a
yep.
pump. You're going to need a nice carbon fiber pump that doesn't weigh too much.
Electric pump.
you,
It's got to be an
yeah,
and
you're
yeah,
going to need one of the little pressurized ones. Maybe you're going to need what's the name for a bottle
beat on. Yeah,
Bidon. Yeah, Fred me, I can remember the
have
name.
to.
You're going to need bidons. You're going to
Yeah,
need
I
so
will,
much
because I'll be
stuff. You're going to need
getting.
a good helmet.
Yeah, I
Make
was
sure you
looking.
get a good helmet, mate.
I
That's
was
that's the
actually
one
looking.
thing. You've got kids, mate. Get a good helmet.
You have to. And I was even looking, because not all the different like tiers of helmets are like priced equally. So you're literally choosing based on look, because like Cask will have their one in my budget, like Abus will have one in my budget, and Van Rice or whatever. And so, but it just adds more. I'm just window shopping for helmets. I'm like, oh, which helmet looks best? It's got to be white.
Yeah,
It's got to be
yeah.
aero. It can't have too many holes.
I
God,
would
man,
definitely get it. I would definitely get a good helmet. That would
we
be
have
the
to.
first thing I would invest in.
Yep,
Is the helmet.
have to.
Um. Oh, mate, this is exciting stuff. I can't wait to
I've
hear about
actually
this.
actually sent you a picture of the bike as well. You can get like a
Oh,
sneak
can I take a
check.
sneak
Check in.
peek
Of course you can, man.
live?
She's an
Oh yeah,
absolute stunner. Um,
yeah. That
there's
is class.
there's no branding. It's got decals, so you can kind of just see the specialized, but it's kind of white against silver.
Yep, that's
Um,
very nice.
yeah. Eventually,
Very, very,
I want to
very
get
nice.
some like quite thick rims as well. Some aero rims. I think I look
Yeah.
wild.
That would just thicker rims would finish that bike
Yeah.
so nicely. Although you've got DT Swiss wheels on it. It's
They're good they're good wheels,
I was
but
gonna say they are good wheels, and they're
yeah.
probably gonna be as good from a performance perspective as the
Oh,
deeper section wheels.
for sure.
Because if it's windy, those can be tricky.
Yeah,
But
they're not made for
the deeper
stability.
sections look unbelievable. They just finish a bike, don't they,
They
mate?
are bad,
I have
bad.
since I was like, bit of a story for you.
Mm.
Me and a friend from school who actually lives in Australia now. He married an Australian girl. When we were about, I want to say 15, 16 in the summer. Both of our dads had bikes,
Mhm.
road bikes, and in the summer months we would take our dad's bikes and just we got into cycling kind of. We
Mhm.
were getting into like watching the Tour de France and just loving the sport, and we would go out in the summer months and get on the bikes and all the rest and think we were class. But obviously when you get into it, especially as a youngster, you start looking at all the gear that the
Mhm.
pros have and the cool guys have and
Mhm.
the people that have too much money to spend on their
Yeah.
hobbies. And that was the thing that we just loved, was just looking at pictures of bikes and
Yep.
just sending them to each other on Facebook or whatever. But the deep rims just look, oh man, it's like they just set a bike off so
You know
much.
what's really tough as well? Like I was thinking about this the other day. Like I enjoy watching road running. I can happily watch, like I watched the Paris Olympics, I watched the marathon. I find it quite interesting. But I don't go, "Oh, yeah, man, he looks class." Whereas I've been watching all of the Tour Down Under, which was really, really good, for anyone who's into cycling, and
Yeah, it's
been
good.
watching the highlights of the, Alula Tour, which is kinda interesting because it's obviously bike racing, but it's in the Middle East, and it's weird, but it's kind of fun. But you look at even some of the riders, like some of the kits, some of the bike, and you're just like, "Man, that looks
It should
I
bet
wish
us.
I
It
looked
should,
like that."
yeah, it's bloody good. Do you watch Harry Sweeney? Have you followed him?
I've not I've been keeping an only in the peloton, like, I wouldn't say I follow him or anything.
He has
Um,
a YouTube channel, mate, and
okay.
he only posts like very, very rarely. It's one of the only videos that I'll actually watch on YouTube because he posts what I would call like the traditional vlog, the kind of like unedited, unscripted, very raw vlogs every once in a while. And he's
Mhm.
a pro cyclist, cool guy. He's Aussie.
He's
He had a
EF
great tour
education,
that,
isn't he?
yeah, he had a great Tour de France this year,
Mhm.
supporting Ben Healy. And I think he's had a pretty good tour down under so far, so he's in great shape. But yep, his YouTube is pretty good. He's an unbelievable cook, so that's one of the reasons why I
Yes,
watch
I
it.
have. No, I have watched him. I watched some of his cooking, like, what I eat in a days. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
His food is incredible, mate.
Yeah.
He loves going into the butcher and getting like a really high quality piece of meat or steak, and maybe that's not your forte, but he takes care of it.
Mhm.
And yeah, he's class to watch. He's an incredible athlete, and yeah, just a very chilled out kind of dude. But yeah, mate, this is good. This is good stuff.
You
I'm
know,
excited for you. I wish I lived in a warm climate somewhere where I could bike.
Mhm.
I really do. I really do. This or like I have a road bike here. It's actually stored in my attic at the minute. It's a Trek Madone, I think, but
Mm.
it's an older model. It's been around for quite a while. I bought it when we came home from Australia, actually, at the
Yep.
beginning of COVID when we were in lockdown, and I was just like, well, I'm just going to buy a bike and get out on that most days.
Mhm.
But yeah, we just don't get the weather for it, and because cycling is not my sport, I'm just not going to go training on a bike in sub-zero degree temperatures, blustery winds, rain,
Mhm.
when I can just go and run or I can go and
Mhm.
swim, and I can use the treadmill if I like. So I just wish I lived somewhere hot and sunny, like Majorca or like Queensland,
Mhm.
and yeah, could just get out of my road bike for 2 or 3 hours every day. That would be the dream.
Yeah, look, it does make it a little bit easier being in Melbourne in that, like, we'll still get like a winter here, and I think there'll be probably a period where it's not so nice. But like, there's a guy on YouTube called, I don't know his name, but I think it's Dan J, but it's like heaps of A's, so it's DAAAANJJ.
Yes,
Um,
he's from the UK, isn't he?
yeah, he's from up north. He's like just
Yeah, he's very
he,
good.
he's a good cyclist, but it's definitely like one of the, like, professional amateur kind of thing, and just gets invited out places. And he's been posting a couple of videos on like just that Christmas rut and just some of the weather he's been going out in over Christmas. I'm like, yeah, like it doesn't make cycling fun when it's pissing it down with rain, and
No.
just it's treacherous. It's like people are miserable. Like if you're riding through London, it's just terrible. We're at least in in Melbourne, you don't get that so much. You still
Yeah.
get problems with the roads, and you have to be careful and whatnot. But the ratio of good to bad weather, like I mean, we've had 30 plus now. We've had like obviously it gets too hot here. That's the issue in summer. Like we've had the 46-degree day
Wow.
on Tuesday, which was like nearing the records. But um, yeah, it's definitely it's just a hot climate sport, man. It's just the way it is. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt about it.
mm.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. That's so cool.
I was even tempted. One thing I haven't done much of recently is any content, but I've still got my like because I kind of stopped making content when I was like in deep with the marathon training. So I just wanted to focus, and then I got injured, and it just never came back. But I've still got the little action cam. So I'm like,
Oh,
mate,
nice.
when I get out on the bike again, I might start trying to get some footage. I think that'd be quite fun. Not that
Yeah, that'd be class.
I'll be doing anything special straight away because I'll just need to get
D-
used to riding on the road again. But
do you have any like how close are you to good locations for riding your bike?
I'll be honest, I'm in the wrong part of Melbourne. I'll have to drive in and find some groups. And that's another thing I'd say is I'm not in a position now where I'd be confident going out on, excuse me, on long rides by myself, just because it's been such a long time since I've been out on the road. I'll have to be finding groups and just safety in numbers, really. And
Absolutely.
I'm in that weird position where technically on a bike, I'm not good. Fitness wise, I'm probably better than a lot of other people, like in terms of my
Yeah.
FTP compared to most riders. It probably eclipses them, but it's just like I just have no technical ability at the moment. It'll have to be relearn. And I'd rather do that in the safety of a group, at least of kind of two or three other people, as opposed to yeah, trying to smash out 100K by myself.
Mate, I'm gonna tell you something as well. Do you
Mm,
see when we were about 10 minutes into recording,
mm.
I spilt a full glass of water
No.
around like my area here where I'm sitting. Now thankfully my laptop and my monitor are both propped up.
Eh, yeah.
But yeah, I'm currently I've got a pool of water basically to dry here afterwards.
Oh dear.
So I'm glad you didn't notice whilst we were chatting. But yeah,
Mate,
that's
you shouldn't have said anything. I had no idea.
man,
You played
we
it off
are.
nicely.
It's been too long. It's been too long. So I'm all out of practice. But yeah, listen, all good. Thanks for waiting. Thanks for being
No,
patient.
that's good. That's good. Hey, look, anyway, man, I'll be honest with you. I am running on fumes at the minute. Like again, having a newborn, like sleep isn't great. So I think that's
Yeah, let's
probably
wrap it
where
up.
we should end the technical talk. But before we do head off, mate, as always, I got to find out what you're doing for the weekend, man. What's the plans?
Yeah, with a few bits on, we are heading out this evening with a cousin of mine and his wife for something to eat in Belfast. So that should be nice to catch up with them and hopefully have a nice meal. Tomorrow is Kira's mum's birthday, so I think we're heading out to Kira's mum and dad's house
Nice.
for maybe some dinner and hopefully some cake.
Mhm.
Um, Sunday I think is free for now, as far as I can remember. Tomorrow I have a match as well, Saturday.
Okay.
Um, Hopefully it's on. The weather has, like I said, has been shocking, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's cancelled again. Like pitches are just flooded.
Mm.
Yeah, it's man, it's been so bad. But that is the plan tomorrow. If I don't have a game, I'll probably run.
Mhm.
Um, but that's the plan for the weekend. I think that's it. Yeah. What about you?
Lovely, man. Well, I think tomorrow my work has got like an open morning, and I might take Casper down there if he wants to get out the house for a little while. It's kind of at a good time. I think it starts at 8 a.m. and that's normally the time where Casper's ready to do something. And if baby is not doing so well, it's probably best if I just get him out the equation. And then I'm going to go meet this guy in the afternoon. I'm going to drive
Oh
into the
yes.
city, meet him, have a look at the bike, hopefully come home with the bike. Um, yeah, hope I'm not getting catfished, man. I'm sure I'm not. The guy, I even like did some research on the guy, and he's like, he's sold bikes before. He's a crit racer. I couldn't find heaps on him, but I think he's pretty legit. So
Good.
that's tomorrow, and then
Keep me updated on that, mate.
Oh, mate, as soon as it's home, it's gonna be like a photo shoot, you have no idea. But then Sunday, I think we've literally just got a first birthday party at some point, so, as much as I'd wanna get straight out on the bike, like I said, I don't have everything else, I literally just have the bike without pedals, so it'll just be getting looked at for a while, but, yeah, I might do some research, start actually pulling the trigger on some items that I need for the bike, and then
Class.
back to work on Monday, man. So, um, yeah, and amidst that, it's parenting life, it's balancing
Mm,
having two
yeah.
of
Well,
those.
listen, mate. Thank you for making the time. It's been great to speak to you. And again, massive congratulations on your new bike. I mean, your new baby.
That was very
such,
good, mate. Yeah.
such a comic, aren't they?
Easy
But
mistake to
yeah, mate.
make.
No, mate. Massive congratulations on the birth of your new baby. I'm sure it's been a very very exciting time for you, and yeah, I'm delighted for you both.
Thank
Delighted
you
for
so
you
much,
all,
man.
the four of you, the family of
Thank
four.
you.
It's yeah, it's great, mate. So
Yeah,
massive congratulations,
appreciate it, man.
and
And
I'm sure that's echoed by the listener as well.
oh, very, very kind listeners. Thank you so much. But again, really, we should be thanking you because, like I said, it's been you've been very patient. Like it's been a long time since we recorded it, and hopefully now we can get back into a rhythm. We can almost call this season two. We won't like I think this is episode 39. I've got it labeled as 39. So we'll just kind of pick up the slack and hopefully have a bit of a big year. And again, it just makes all the difference if you guys like the podcast, share it with your friends, like share it on Instagram, follow, subscribe, whatever it is means the world to us. So thanks again. Good luck with any racing, training, whatever you guys are doing. I'm sure we will eventually still talk about some running. Like again, it's not really running season at the moment, but as the marathons start popping up, I'm sure we'll have like things to talk about and topics to discuss. So just hang tight with us on that one. And yeah, I'm sure we'll get around to it. But thanks again, guys, and we hope you have a great week wherever you are. Take care.